Big news in the crypto space. We've got President Donald Trump hosting the first ever crypto summit, which will include key political members from his administration, in addition to key founders within the blockchain space, as well as leaders from some of the top exchanges, for example, like CZ from Binance, Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, and the founder from Kraken. Now, this is where things get interesting. There's speculation that Charles Hoskinson could be on that list to attend the first ever crypto summit taking place this Friday, March 7th. What's up, Ada Gang? Welcome into Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host here, Fareed. As a part of today's brief video, we've got speculation about Charles Hoskinson heading over to the White House for the first ever crypto summit being held by the current president, Donald Trump. Now we're going to break down what the potential implications are, all of the facts and news that we currently have, and again, just sort of the tease about whether or not we may see Charles up there at this conference taking place this coming Friday, March 7th. And I'll make sure to live stream that here, regardless of whether Charles is there, given the impact that this can and will have on the entire blockchain and crypto industry. Now, before we go any further breaking down of this amazing news here, if it's your first time stopping by the channel, my goal is to help you find your footing within the Cardano and Bitcoin ecosystems. If you appreciate content like this, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up on the way in. If you want more, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you want to extend your support for the channel even further, consider delegating your ADA with either of the two Dapp Central stake pools, which share the ticker DAPP. So as we jump straight on in here, we've got a tease which came in from the crypto czar, and he's been appointed to sort of lead the crypto regulation or just the crypto front as a part of Trump's administration. So this is something that he had posted about a week ago, where he states President Trump will host the first ever White House Crypto Summit on Friday, March 7th. Attendees will include prominent crypto founders or prominent founders, CEOs, and investors from the crypto industry. Now, there's an article here that I want to briefly break down, which again sort of recaps and highlights a couple of key things. So it states here that the White House will host the first ever crypto summit, again taking place on March 7th, featuring President Trump, top CEOs, and policymakers. In addition, we are expecting Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken leaders to join Trump at the White House, which that includes CZ, which is crazy because you take a look at the prior administration, they basically put that man in jail. They had filed lawsuits against Binance. We've got Brian Armstrong from Coinbase. Now, he's never went to jail, but the SEC did try to target them and try to basically hit them with fines for selling unregistered securities. And very similarly with Kraken, they were also targeted. So it's been a complete 180, but there's also a couple of other key members that I want to highlight here, which also include Michael Saylor. So it states here that the summit will run from 1:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. And there's going to be a roundtable discussion featuring key figures like CEOs, investors, and members from the Presidential Working Group on Digital Assets. Now, if you aren't aware, that's where David Sachs comes in. He's leading the sort of initiative there with that working group. There's also Senator Tim Scott, who Charles Hoskinson has a really, really good relationship with. But in a nutshell, the working group is established to put together guidelines, rules, regulations as to how the U.S. can become a leader and an innovator within the blockchain and crypto space. And so here's a breakdown of some of sort of the key requirements from the working group, which they have 180 days to sort of bring back or submit a report back to Donald Trump following their investigations and feasibility reports. And then they talk about the fact that the working group should also propose a federal regulatory framework, and then talk about the potential creation and maintenance of a national digital assets stockpile. And that's where things get interesting. I broke this down before, and I'm going to tie all this back together, so stick with me here. But Donald Trump had talked about the fact that Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Solana, and Cardano would be eligible to move forward in terms of assets being added to the crypto strategic reserve. And so since then, we've seen Cardano appreciate in price significantly. Cardano continues to outperform the entire market. If I were to look across the 7-day gainers above, I want to say like $1 billion market cap, Cardano is at number one. So we have Donald Trump publicly stating, right, or publicly tweeting about Cardano. We've got the potential of the fact that Charles may be attending the crypto summit this coming Friday. And I'm going to break down where the speculation around that comes in. And then I want to highlight a couple of other members who've actually been confirmed already. So let's jump back into this article here. As always, if you guys do enjoy the content, please smash that thumbs up. If you want more, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to voice off down below. So in terms of key attendees and industry leaders, it states that according to Fox Business's Eleanor Tourette, the guest list will be smaller than initially expected, with approximately 20 to 25 attendees. Amongst the confirmed participants are industry leaders such as MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor, Robinhood CEO, Kraken CEO, and Coinbase's CEO. Now, one person that they haven't gotten an official confirmation from has been Brad Garlinghouse, who is the sort of founder, the head of the XRP network, which of course, he's got some very strong ties to senators and Donald Trump. He was actually at the White House right around inauguration time, but we haven't gotten any confirmation as to him attending just yet. But that doesn't mean that he will not attend. The list, if I'm not mistaken, has yet to be finalized. It should be going out sometime today. Now, it states that the crypto summit aims to foster collaboration between the government and the digital assets industry to discuss the shaping of the future for policymaking. This meeting will serve as the first of a series of events designed to replace the previously proposed Crypto Advisory Council. Now, I've been digging into Eleanor's Twitter here, and it states here at the very bottom that this is all happening in real time with plans not 100% finalized. So things could change as she's getting or finding out more information. Now, I jump over to Michael Saylor's Twitter, and we can see that he actually did tweet this out roughly about, 24 hours ago, where he states, I've been invited to the Digital Assets Summit at the White House this coming Friday, hosted by the president. So we definitely know that this will be taking place, that this will be happening. Now, if I jump over to this article here, which was posted by Binance Square, there's a little bit of speculation here. And I think that this particular picture is coming in from Crypto Banter, who does a lot of crypto-based content, but this being a potential speculative piece here. So don't take this as the truth. Again, this is just speculation at this point. So they've got a breakdown here of a spreadsheet. Obviously, Donald Trump, Bo Hines, David Sachs. He's got Brad Garlinghouse checked off there, but I haven't seen anything from Brad under the confirmed category. Of course, since then, we've got the confirmation from Michael Saylor. And then there's a mention of Charles, and they completely botched his name here. Now, I know Rand and the entire Crypto Banter team aren't big fans of Cardano ADA, so I'm not sure if this was done on purpose or not, but they have him down as Charles Hodgkinson instead of Charles Hoskinson. But it states that he's representing the Cardano Foundation. And of course, there's no official check mark yet. Now, keep in mind, from Charles's perspective, he has posted about the fact that he was supposed to have a strategic meeting taking place on March 1st. It sounds like it did happen, but he hasn't given out any additional information since. I've been digging, scouring, looking for any sort of notes or hints at him potentially attending this crypto summit, but I've yet to see anything. The last mention that we've got was from Charles, which he basically tried to tone down the speculation around his meeting on March 1st, but there hasn't been any additional follow-up about the White House, about Elon, about Trump since then. So I'll be keeping an eye out here, but that's where the speculation comes in, is from this document or this particular checklist here of potential attendees who could be attending the crypto summit. So I believe that that will do it there for sort of the general bit of content. What I want to highlight here, though, as we get to close out here, are the potential implications for crypto and Cardano. So whether or not Cardano or Charles attends this particular event, I think Cardano will be one of the key assets to watch moving forward. And there's a couple of reasons why. So I want to highlight this particular graph or this particular chart here, which breaks down some of the potential big winners of the US crypto-based policy or regulations. So we've got the fact that Cardano and XRP are in a very unique position where Cardano has been listed as a asset or token made in the USA. Now, some people are going to say, yes, that's true. Some people are going to say, no, that's not true, given the fact that Cardano's initial IPO was actually done in Japan. The fact that US investors could not invest. And so the fact that now it's sort of being categorized as a US based token because IOG, who is US based, built it. Some people agree, some people do not. So regardless of that, it is currently classified as a crypto, which has been made in the USA. Next, we've got the fact that Cardano has been mentioned by Donald Trump. This is very similar to the Elon effect, where Elon for a long time was continuously tweeting about different assets and was able to really move their price. And we saw Cardano shooting up 70% when the announcement about the strategic crypto reserve came out, and with ADA being listed as one of those assets. In addition, we've got ETF applications. So we've got Grayscale, Virtune Capital, Toodle Capital. We've got 21 shares. We've also got 6 Swiss, and we've also got, I want to say there is 1 or 2 others. The names are escaping my mind. But that said, institutions, TradFi, grandmas and grandpas that don't feel like they need to or that don't want to deal with the headache of custodying crypto, they'll finally be able to jump into assets like Cardano as soon as those ETFs are approved. Most notably, we're now anticipating Grayscale's ETF application, right? So if it's not approved after the 45-day period, which I believe ends sometime in April, we could see an extension pushing us out towards the December timeline, right? But either way, I think it's a matter of time, not if. Now, the last thing is the fact that the Cardano ecosystem or the Cardano blockchain has been included as one of the blockchain projects to attend the White House. Now, is that because of the recent meeting that took place on March 1st with Charles, or is that because of the upcoming crypto summit? Again, speculation here, we don't know, but we've definitely seen IOG in attendance at the inauguration for Donald Trump. We know that Charles has had some pretty high level status meetings. We don't know with who or about what, but it looks like Cardano is included as one of those blockchains closely very tied or very closely tied to the White House. So what does this mean for Cardano? Well, number one, it makes Cardano legitimate. For the longest time, people continue to FUD ADA, continue to call it a ghost chain, a vaporware, but it is by far one of the most sustainable, secure, and long-running blockchains as it currently stands. There is a reason why Cardano continues to stay in the top 10, regardless of the FUD, and that's because the product speaks for itself. Number two, institutional adoption and potential. I just broke that down with the ETFs, but once they're able to jump in, and once they're able to get easy access, and once there's regulation that prevents them from getting fined, we're definitely going to see big money jumping in. After that, we've got obviously price and market reaction. We then have what's interesting, right? Which could be a dynamic shift between Bitcoin, ETH, and Cardano. So right now, we've got Bitcoin sort of as the gold standard, followed by ETH, and then Cardano. What a lot of people don't realize is Cardano is actually more closely related to Bitcoin than ETH. And so in an ideal world, Cardano actually extends everything that Bitcoin does and everything that Bitcoin has been built to do. And so it only makes sense, at least for me, to see Cardano as sort of the number 2, if not number 1, followed by ETH. And so could we see that flipping from Bitcoin, ETH, and Cardano to Bitcoin, Cardano, and ETH? If we're able to get Cardano added to the strategic crypto reserve, if Grayscale opens up their ETF, in addition to other institutions and TradFi coming into Cardano, that definitely is a possibility in my personal opinion. Now, what does that mean for price? Well, that means that we could see anywhere between an $8 to $20 ADA coming up here in this bull market. Obviously, not financial advice. hodl, stay patient, and understand your fundamental beliefs as to why you're in this space. As we get ready to close things down, I think that this also help out with the public perception and political influence. Charles has mentioned the fact that IOG wants to continue to double down and invest in regulations, in talks at Capitol Hill, etc. I believe that that'll bring me to the end here for today's update. Again, speculation about Charles Hoskinson potentially being at the crypto summit. Either way, I'll be live streaming that. Make sure to go ahead and tune in. If you found this particular update to be helpful, please smash that thumbs up. If you want more, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to voice off down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.